Hi, this is Mike from Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To, and on today's video we're taking a look at what is possibly the best option for professional audio wirelessly from your iPhone, iPad or iPod. Keep watching to find out how. Okay, so in today's video we'll be taking a look at the Boya BY-XM6-K4. This is the latest in an absolutely huge range of microphone wireless products from Boya, which I'll put some links in the video description. So we're going to go through, do an unboxing, go through exactly what we get. There's quite a lot to go through, so strap yourselves in. But essentially it all centers around this little box. So this is actually a charging box, and also a carry case, as you can see. There is a built-in battery bank in this, which is 3000 milliamp hours. And also there's a little button on the side which you can press. It tells you your current charge level. And also there's a USB Type-C connection for recharging that battery. That's great, you say, but how am I going to get sound out of that? Well, it's very easy. All you do is open the box and you are greeted with a pair of transmitters and also a dedicated iPhone style or lightning connecting receiver. This is fantastic. So you've got options on here for two microphones. You don't have to use two microphones if you don't want to. You can use just one at a time. Just take one out and give that to your talent or whoever. Do your piece to camera, no problems at all. But if you're in an interview situation and you want to have two microphones and get the best audio, then you can give the other person the other transmitter and you can record in stereo. So this is really super flexible. Now, of course, if you want to, you can just use one of these for sort of additional audio. So say, for instance, you're doing maybe something in a park or a racetrack, football match, that kind of thing. You can quite easily leave one of these actually right near the action and you can be sat further away with your microphone doing your voiceover. And in post-production, you can mix your audio to get highlights from the game, cheers, etc. and also to highlight your own audio tracks. So tons and tons of flexibility. And all of it is actually controlled by a single button, which is awesome. So actually on the receiver itself, there's a little slide switch there, which is in mono or stereo. So if you want to use it in mono, that is basically both tracks put together and they will come through as a stereo in your device. Set it to stereo and then it splits the audio tracks. So your left track will be one mic and the right track will be the other. Now obviously in things like Adobe Premiere or DaVinci, you can take both of those tracks and split them so they both become stereo and you can mix them as you see fit. But essentially what you're getting is two audio tracks in one device, which is great. So let's put that to one side for a minute. That's the introduction, so if you're interested, you're going to want to watch the rest of this to see what you actually get and how it all works, all that kind of stuff. We'll be doing some practical tests as well later in the video, so we'll do a test actually here set up in our little studio setup, and also we'll do some stuff going out and around. I've actually done some stuff yesterday out in the garden, so you can get an idea of the range. Spoiler alert, it does at least 60 to 70 foot with no problems whatsoever. This was with my phone right at the very end of the garden, and I actually walked into the house and went to put my other camera away and you could still hear me gibbering away. So the range is absolutely brilliant, no problems there. They do rate it for being up to about 100 meters. I haven't tested that as of yet, but maybe we'll do that later in the video. So let's take a look and see what we actually get. So it does actually come in two boxes. So you get the actual mic set itself and the transmitters, receivers, all in this package, and then you get a separate package which actually comes with the charging base. Now I'm not entirely sure how they're going to be doing this as time goes on in regards to pricing, whether or not you'll be able to buy these separately, that kind of thing. I'm surprised it didn't actually come in one box, but I guess because there are so many different flexible options of actually buying these sets, then yeah, that may change. I'll put all the links in the video description so you can check it out, and also pricing in your local regions. At the moment, I'm not entirely sure what the price is going to be. Boya do sell it on Amazon, AliExpress and various other places around the globe, so I'm sure you'll be able to pick it up in your country. But again, prices I'm not entirely sure at the moment. I will update the video if it's come in before this goes live. I'll put it in the bottom there and also it'll be pinned in the top comment so you can check out pricing. Essentially Boya, what they do is really high tech equipment, very high quality and generally very low prices, so I'm expecting it to be a very, very competitive price. So let's look at the charging station first of all. So this is the charging case as we've seen already. So it does charge USB Type-C as we've already said. You're looking at somewhere around about 4.5 hours for a complete charge, for it to be completely flat, and it will charge both of the mic packs at least twice. I've put it on there and I've charged both mic packs from the factory, which were essentially flat, and it's charged them up completely and the LED is still on 4 bars. So yeah, there's tons of power on there. The beauty of that is obviously if you're out and about, maybe you're filming all day in an event, then when you're having your break or having some lunch or in between kind of acts, if you're at somewhere like Glastonbury or some kind of festival, stick the mics in here, let them charge up, and you're ready to go again when the action starts again, which is a very cool feature. Obviously you can see the battery levels, so that's really good. And obviously the other thing is it just makes it so that you've actually got somewhere to store the devices, and even giving it a rattle, there is a little bit of shake in there. That is mostly for the receiver. Opening up the box, there is a little foam strip at the top there, so that is going to help protect the actual transmitters and also the receiver to keep that in place as well. So yeah, it's a very cool device. Not particularly heavy either, so if you want to slip it into a pocket, it's relatively compact as well. I'll put the measurements on the screen. Also, you've got some rubberized pads on the bottom, so if you do want to have this kind of desk mounted and have it permanently connected to a USB source, so you can have it on your desk, put your mic in, stuff in there overnight, let it charge so you're ready to go the next day. That is definitely a possibility. So now we can take a look at the other part of the package. So this can be used actually as a standalone as well. So this is the ultra compact 2.4 GHz dual channel wireless microphone system, the BY-XM6-K4. So you can actually buy this as a separate part number or separate SKU. Obviously, if you want to buy the two together, you can buy that as the K4 kit. Like I said, lots of flexibility there. So if you think maybe the charging dock, not quite what you're after, but certainly you're really intrigued with the idea of this for recording on your iPhone, then you can buy this as a standalone product. You can charge these separately. There is a USB Type-C connection on there for charging purposes, so you don't have to use the charging dock if you don't want to, if you want to save a few pennies. I personally think it's a great kit together and also keeps it all together, keeps it safe, etc, etc, so it's all good. Like I said, 100 meters is the distance over the 2.4 GHz band. You've also got the transmitter with up to a 7-hour runtime. Now, I haven't actually managed to record any footage for anywhere near that length of time, but certainly if you wanted to for longer format things, yeah, 7 hours is a heck of a long time. Although, saying that, if you're doing a few bits over a 12-hour shoot, then yeah, 7 hours I think is going to be absolutely fine. But again, if you want to, USB Type-C charging or in the dock itself to keep those batteries topped up when you need them. The nice thing is the actual receiver itself, which plugs into your phone, is powered by the phone itself. That is going to cause a very small drain on the battery of the phone, so obviously do take that into consideration, but the actual receiver itself does not require any separate power. So let's take a look at these a little bit closer. So first of all, the receiver itself. So as you can see, it has got the lightning connector on here. Now for those of you that are interested in this and really like the idea of this, and you've maybe got an Android device, then you can actually get this with a USB Type-C connection as well to plug it into your phone. I'll try and put some links for that as well. They did actually offer to send me that, but I don't actually have a USB Type-C phone at the moment, so I thought, well, let's go with the iPhone one, because I do use the iPhone on a daily basis. You've got real-time monitoring as well. So say, for instance, there's maybe 3 of you doing this. You've got like a semi-professional shoot going on. You've got your 2 talent or your 2 subjects with your microphones on, and you've got the third person actually behind the camera filming it all. They can actually plug in a set of headphones into the 3.5mm jack there and listen to the audio in real time, which is very handy. And obviously, if you have any issues with audio, they can let you know if there's any breakups or anything, but obviously I wouldn't have thought there would be. This is a pretty decent system. You've got the Boya logo on there. There's also an LED, so you've got a solid blue LED, which when it's solid means the units are connected and synchronizing. When it's flashing rapidly, it means it's in pairing mode. When it's flashing slowly, it means it's waiting to connect, all that kind of stuff. The antenna section is actually built into the end, but you can't actually see it. On the other side, again, we've got the mono and stereo switch, so switching between those two. If you're just going to use it as a standalone with one person, leave it in the mono selection, and then you'll get stereo come through to the device. If you're using 2 people, then set it to stereo and you'll get a separate left-right channel, like I said earlier. And also there is a pairing button. So for the first time, if you want to use it, they are generally factory paired, but if for some reason they lose connectivity, press and hold the button. It'll flash first of all, then it'll go solid blue, then release it, and then you can set these two to actually synchronize, which, yeah, absolutely fine. Moving down to these themselves, so these are actually super cool little devices. They are extremely flexible and extremely small, portable and lightweight, which is a very handy thing. Some people don't like those really heavy microphone packs, which with this obviously is kind of, well, you're not going to notice it. It's very, very small. Battery life, like I said, up to about 7 hours. You have got the option of extending that battery life very slightly. You can turn off the OLED display, but as probably most of you know, OLED doesn't generally tend to use up a great deal of power, and it is only a single color display, so it's not using a great deal of energy. It does say on there TX, obviously, so these are transmission devices or microphone packs. The screen itself lights up. Just press the power button, press and hold it, and you get the Boya logo come up, like a startup thing, and you can go through the menu. It tells you, first of all, things like your signal strength, the microphone level, so adjustable between level 6 and 0. You've also got the bar meter on the front, so you can see what the sound levels are like, and also gives you a very small readout there of the actual battery power of the unit itself, which is very handy to have. On the other side, like I said, USB Type-C charging, so if you want to charge it USB Type-C in an emergency, if you can't get to your battery backup or you bought it as a separate kit, then you can charge from there. On the bottom, nothing there. On this side, we've got all the buttons, so this is just to go through the menus. So you've got the mute button, which also doubles up as a power button, so press and hold the mute button, and it will turn the device on or off if you hold it for more than 4 seconds. If you want to briefly mute the microphone's ability to send the audio to the actual thing, so say for instance the talent or yourself or whatever, maybe you're going to the toilet, or maybe there's just something you don't want it to overhear whilst recording, just press the power button briefly once and it goes into mute mode, and there's a little line that shows across the microphone to say that it is in muted mode. That's very good. The plus and minus buttons, again, for adjusting the mic volume. You don't have to really do a great deal, so it's on 6 at the moment. Press the minus button, it will drop down, and press it right back up and it'll go back up to 6. Obviously find whatever level suits you. Press and hold the set button in the middle and it goes into the menu. So you've got the input. So the input, actually on the top there is a 3.5mm jack on here as well, so you can change that between microphone or a line in. If you want to change that, you can do, just press and hold the button again. Then you've got your mic gain, then you've got your mute enable, so you can actually disable the mute facility, so if someone accidentally presses the button it won't accidentally mute it. You've also got the backlight. You can adjust the backlight to be in something like 10 seconds, 30 seconds, 60 seconds, or just on. I've left it as on. You've also got the connect option, so if you're pairing it for the first time or you're trying to reconnect because the connectivity's gone a bit weird, then you can press that and it'll go into connectivity mode, and it tells you the language. You can choose the various languages, and it tells you the option to restore as well. So if you want to restore it, if your settings are just wrong, you just want to restore it, you can do. And also tells you the version of the firmware which is actually in the units itself. I'm not aware if they actually regularly service these with different updates. My previous version that we've reviewed a while back, I think it's the S6, that is still on the same version, so it doesn't appear there's been any tweaks, so I don't see there's any issues with them, so they haven't needed to fix it, so that's absolutely fine. Obviously, if you do want to update the firmware, you can do that via the USB Type-C from your computer. So back up to the top, so like I said, you've got the 3.5mm jack there, use that for line level, so either if you want to, maybe from a console or a TV or some other audio device. You've also got the mic, which is in the top there. There is actually fur-ears included as well, so if you want to, if you're in a slightly windy environment, you get these little fur-ears which just clip onto the top, easy to push in and to remove should you need to. And on the back there is the belt clip, so you can clip that onto where you want really. You can clip it onto a shirt at the top there to get the microphone nice and close, or if you want to, you can clip it onto your belt. And you're probably thinking, well, if you clip it onto your belt, all you're going to hear is the noise of your stomach rumbling, which isn't the case because they do actually include 2 lav mics in the pack as well. So if you do want to use standalone microphones, you can do, or maybe you've got your own personal favorite microphone, maybe not a Boya mic and you want to use something else like smart lav, that sort of thing, then you can plug those in, no problems at all. Again, total flexibility there. Also, you probably notice on the back there are the 3 brass or copper contacts, so that matches up with the charging dock. Obviously, if you're having any issues or slow charging, just make sure you give those a clean regularly with some cotton bud or some alcohol tips, that sort of thing. That'd be absolutely fine. So I think that is it for those. Let's take a look at the other accessories. Sorry this video is so long, but I want to go through all the bits so you know exactly what you get, so there's no confusion and you can get yourself up and running straight away. So the next part of it, there is a little Boya carry case. So this is Velcro strapped. You can put in there whatever you want. It does come with all the bits inside, but we'll take a look at that shortly. On the back as well, there is a mesh section, so you can put other bits and pieces in there. I don't know, maybe credit card, debit cards, whatever you want to do if you're carrying it around. I should also mention there is, for the charging case, this does come with a separate instruction manual. So that will come in that box. And then for the actual mic packs, you get this manual here, which comes with that and goes through the sections of all the models that are covered. So the XM6 range, like I said, there's an absolute ton of them from the S1 down through to S6, which are all kind of based loosely around the same principle, but with different connectivity options. So that comes in with that. There are the 2 wind muffs. So those, again, if you're using it in the normal mode and you're just using the built-in microphone, then you just plug those in the top, which I can't see because I've got my studio lights blasting in my eyes. There you go, so that is on there, so you've got a wind muff. So yeah, if there's any breeze or anything, then that will reduce that significantly. Again, you don't have to use that if you don't want to. Also included is a total of 3 USB Type-C connections. So obviously this makes sense because one of them comes actually with the charging case and the other 2 come with the mic pack. So if you just want to use these on a Type-C connection, then you can do, or if you've got the charging bank, you can use that instead. Next up, there are the 2 lav mics. So you've got 2 lav mics. These come with crocodile clips as well, so you can clip them onto your shirt, much like I've got mine on now, and also come with little pop shields as well, so if you want to use those you can do. I generally tend to leave the pop shields on, even if I'm in an area where it's not very windy or there's not much going on. I just find it isolates the mic, especially for me. I have it sort of just here on my shirt, so if it accidentally rubs against my body, you don't get that kind of scratching noise, so yeah, very useful. The cable on these, not very long, just under 2 meters in length, so should be enough just to go from your shirt down through your shirt and into kind of like a pocket to plug into the actual transmitters. So just to reiterate, obviously the 2 separate packs, charging bank with a USB Type-C cable, although if you just buy this set on its own, you do get the carry case here, obviously not a charging carry case, but you can use that to store it all. I must say actually, because this is now produced as a kit, it would have been really nice to have seen a slightly larger bag like this to be able to fit the charging bank and all the accessories in at the same time. But I guess if you want to stick all your accessories in this bag, then put the other bits in the charging bank. There's 2 things you have to carry, but again, it's not very bulky when you've got the 2 together. Anyway, I've rabbited on way too long. It's time that I rabbited on way too long with the mics actually attached, and we'll give them a little bit of a trial run so you can hear what they sound like and get an idea of what it may do for you. Okay, so now we're doing a sound test of the Boya mic, so you'll be getting the audio coming from this Boya microphone. Currently the microphone is set to level 6. I am using a specific application on the iPhone, so there is a like a Pro Video app which I'm using. The reason for that is because the default app on the iPhone doesn't always allow you to manually select which microphone you're using, which can potentially cause problems. You may find sometimes if you've plugged in the actual connector for the microphone after you've opened the camera app, it won't always pick up the fact it's there. So to save hassle, I would strongly suggest getting a dedicated app so you can go in and manually choose which microphone you're actually using. Although obviously you don't have to do that, just obviously do be careful that if you plug in the microphone after you've opened up the application, potentially it may not register that it's actually plugged in, which is a little bit of an oversight by Apple in that regard. Hopefully that will be resolved in future iOS releases. But what we're more interested in is the actual sound quality. So like I said, this is currently on setting number 6, so highest setting. The camera itself, I've actually set it so it's at about 90%, so it's not at full blast. Hopefully the audio is coming through nice and crisp and clear. There is some other things in the room which I've deliberately left going. So the PCs, etc. are all going, so it'll be interesting to see if it picks up that. There's also a ticking clock somewhere over there. I wonder where it was. Oh, I've actually moved it, it's over there. So let's let you listen to the sound floor. So I'll be completely quiet so you can see what the background noise is like. Now I can actually hear the wind coming down through our chimney stack. It's a very hot day today, but there is a little bit of a breeze, so we are hearing that as well. Again, the clock is over there ticking away. But yeah, hopefully it sounds really good. Like I said, you can use this in either stereo or mono mode. So if you want to, you can use the additional microphone transmitter and pick up audio sources elsewhere. Currently, because of where we are, we're just in this particular setup with me just using this singular mic, which you can do if you want to. Let's listen to some of the footage from out in the garden. So you can hear what that was like a little bit earlier on. This is with the wind muff detached. So just to give you an idea of what that sounds like. So let's listen to that now. Okay, so this is a test of the Boya BY-XM6-S4 kit, or kind of technically it's the K4 as well, because you get a charging thing as well. And there we go. So I was right the way back there. Where's the lens? Oh, there it is. Can't get used to these things. So anyway, this is a mic test, see what it sounds like. So currently mic gain is set to 6. It's recording to an iPhone XR, so the volume is kind of controlled internally by the device. So let's take a walk back, see how far it goes. So the garden, as you can probably see, is a good 20-25 meters or so. So let's take some steps back and see what the audio is like. In theory, it should obviously stay the same as it is now. Shouldn't be any difference at all, and it should sound the same with me here or whether I'm right up in front. So let's walk back again, and still walking, talking as normal. Well, as normal as you can be if you're a Bristolian. So let's go all the way back. Actually, I should count how many feet this is, but I'm sure the garden's about 60 foot, thereabouts. So 60 foot should be far enough for most people. So let's go right the way back to here. And there's Kath, you probably can't see her because she'll be out of focus, but she's there anyway. So yeah, there we go. Hopefully the thanks for that. Hopefully the audio's been pretty good, and well, as much as it can be for a Bristolian speaking into an iPhone. So let's see what that sounds like. So yeah, there you go. There is what it sounds like. Very compact, very easy to use, although obviously iOS and Apple themselves don't make it particularly easily. It would be great if the default camera app in the iPhone actually had a manual button so you could choose which microphone it's actually recording from. Although obviously if you plug in your microphone before you open up the app, it will default to whatever's plugged in. That works for the same for all plug-in microphones. So if you plug them in after you've turned on the app, they generally won't switch over. So it'll just use the onboard audio. Other than that, I think Boya have done pretty much everything they possibly can do. I love the carry pouch, nice soft pouch for keeping all the bits and pieces accessories. So if you do get a windy day, you can quickly attach the wind muff or plug in a lav mic for that little bit of extra quality and sound. The fact that it comes with this charging case as well is absolutely brilliant and can keep you going whilst you're on the move. But what I think about it isn't important, what you think about it is. So let us know in the comment section. Do you think this is a pretty cool little device? I certainly do. Don't forget, check out the prices and the availability in the links in the video description below. But for now, I've been Mike. This is Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To, and hopefully we'll catch you in the very next video. Thanks for watching.